Welcome to this session of Thrythlin's One-Shot Adventures. I am the Game Master, Luke, also known as Thrythlind, and I will be running this session. Over the years, I have collected a large number of different role-playing games, many of which I have never gotten a chance to play, and I am still collecting now. So, I have decided to take up doing these one-shot adventures as a way to try out some of these different systems and see how they work. Some of these systems will be very well known, possibly even popular. A number of them will be obscure and independent offerings. I hope you enjoy all of them equally, and I hope that they all end up performing well. And thank you for joining us. Have a good listen. To summarize where we left off on the character creation, we have a tough Glaive who masters weaponry, played by Iban. We don't have a name yet. You can figure that out whenever you desire. We have tiny Touka, who is a swift Nano who murders, who is a hereditary assassin beloved by the townsfolk. And we have Laura Croft, who is a graceful Jack who explores dark places.
Did we establish that my character and Ant's character were siblings, or is that only in my head?
That was a possibility. It was up to you.
What do you think, Ant? Would you be up for that?
Let me read over and see what that was.
Okay, it would make him the one person who knows you're an assassin, aside from.
Oh yes, that's right. That's fine. Yes, I went with that because Laura Croft thinks I'm just another tomb hunting explorer type.
Yep.
So maybe you are the older sister and the one who's got the powers to continue the family business?
I assume so.
I just went off somewhere else and learned how to fight, and that's why I became a Glaive who masters weaponry. Also, if that's the case, can you help me coming up with a name that would sort of suit yours? It was given by the same parents.
That's not a bad idea. I did kind of choose mine completely as a Tiny Tina reference, what with the fact that I start with all of the grenades ever.
Except the singularity grenade.
Oh yeah.
You rolled 1 point off.
You'll have to decide on a family name because I've obviously not given myself one.
Maybe Touka is the family name? You just got it like a title?
Touka's a given name, not a family name.
Okay, well, I'll think about it. We don't have to get stuck on this.
Indeed.
Indeed. You've heard news from a nearby town called Graceful, which is known as this really, this place that they built their town on some ancient ruins that keeps it warm even in the depths of winter. Been a very good place, lots of hot springs. You know, it's pretty, it's not a huge town, but it's a fairly thriving community. But very recently, the mayor of that town has been offering a reward for anyone willing to quickly and quietly enter the structure, kill everything they find, and seal the hole.
Kill everything we find. That sounds suspiciously like a job for murder and explosives.
You've been hearing rumors that they've been having troubles recently after an earthquake that hit the area, that people have been going missing. There's been some strange toxic sludge coming out, and more of the ruins are exposed than ever before.
Ruins,
there's lots of chatter about, you know, the ruins being cursed and all that. And you get the idea from the quiet job offers going around that the mayor probably wants things to get settled before people start leaving the town.
Do we know if someone else has taken the job, and if in that case what's been of them, and what kind of things to expect we're supposed to kill?
At this point, talking to the mayor, I'm assuming you end up talking to him. You don't have anything specific. Actually, we'll say that you've heard rumors that he has a job and you're there, and he's been making the specifics to you. It's like, no, I haven't had anybody else hired to go in. As for what's in there, we really do not know. Quite possibly something is in there. We think definitely something is in there. People don't just go missing for no reason. And the only thing that's changed recently is the ruins opened up.
So they opened up after an earthquake?
Yes, this is the case. The entire town's built on top of these ruins that are made out of synth and metal.
Background question. What is synth?
Synth is like plastics or stuff like that, synthetic materials.
Okay.
I just need this problem solved before the Hosai, and he's referencing cult that's in the area, before the Hosai spread their doomsaying to everybody. One of them is being especially loud. It would be rather convenient if something were to silence him, shut him up.
Well, we're a ruin delving expedition. We don't do freelance murder.
Understood. But definitely, if you can close down whatever the threat coming from the ruins are, that will definitely shut him up. And he's pretty quick to cover himself up in the wake of your commentary.
Laura is your character, right? Talk?
Yeah, Laura.
Laura, okay. At her answer, I'll look at Touka and sort of like raise an eyebrow like she doesn't know?
I make a nonchalant, dismissive motion with my left hand.
Okay, that's going to be my character sort of laughing to himself. Chuckling for no apparent reason.
And he walks over to the window and says, the ruins are, perfectly visible from here. Actually, we're just built on top of them. And he points out and off towards where a lot more of the ruined structure has been revealed out of the sands. There are major cracks that we know of that we've been forbidding anybody to enter just in case. So there is an entrance. And the visible section of the ancient structure is curved and appears to be made of various metals and synth, joined with knobs, smooth seams, and elements that resemble hinges. The visible section of the structure is about 500 feet long and about 200 feet wide. A lot of that is covered by buildings of Drisi, and this above-ground section seems to be just a portion of the entire size, giving the impression that the buried sections must be enormous. On the way into the mayor's office, you notice that most of it feels smooth, and some parts appear more malleable, yet too strong to break or tear easily. Other sections, most of which are circles about 6 inches wide, seem to be made of tightly woven mesh. The material vibrates with a slight, constant shudder and is warm to the touch.
Well, sister, how do you feel about expending some quality family time in a dark hole fighting unknown things?
I think we should probably split up and ask around the town for information about, these are locals, they live in the area. I'm sure they've got more information that we can rustle up about this. I think we should spend an afternoon gathering information before we risk this, We'll split up and report back with our findings.
Also, I think the town should provide us with words. I need them.
Room and board?
No, I was gonna say. Also, I think the town should provide us with supplies for at least a couple of days. We don't know how long we'll be in there.
The mayor kind of waves dismissively, saying that can be arranged. I'll make sure to do it. Tell me what you would want. I'll gather it here. You can take it with you into the structure when you're ready to go. I'd rather not everybody know that you're planning on heading into the structure. That he kind of shrugs as it might be possible everybody knows already, but I'd rather have plausible deniability at any rate.
Of course, we'll keep our questioning circumspect, I believe.
Okay, so
we also should avoid that. What's that guy's name?
Nair is part of a cult called the Hosai, which are a doomsaying apocalyptic cult in the area. They're telling everybody that there's some sort of evil that's been woken up in the ruins, and it's going to rise up and kill them all and stuff like that.
Sounds like they're trying to capitalize on the earthquake and the ruins.
Are they involved in any way?
Involved?
Or are they just...
How?
I don't know. Do they know what's happening, or...
If they know what's happening, they haven't said anything, other than what they rant and rave about, some great evil waking up.
Well, you are the mayor. You should know better than us outsiders.
They're just a rabble-rousing group. I don't know what their particular angle on this is. I do know that they have an angle. It just seems logical that they would. That said, the town has, this is the GM speaking, the town has this sort of a lot of inns and places to stay because of the hot springs that they've, oh, not hot springs, but the hot baths they've developed by using the eternally warm ruins to power them up and other such attractions and such. There are, of course, supply shops for adventurers going off further into the desert or into the wilderness from here on, for stopping off here for a bit of rest. There's the standard, bakery, food merchants, that kind of thing. Any particular direction any of you would like to go for looking for more information?
I'm going to linger slightly and loop back around to speak to the mayor again once the others have split off to do some individual information hunting.
And the other two, which way would you be going?
I'll go to the... I'm expecting there is some sort of tavern where travelers and merchants gather.
There's a couple of different ones, but yes, there is.
You go.
I'll go to the one where mercenaries show up to, to guard caravans or whatnot. Basically where I won't be too obvious. Where I want...
where you're wanting...
Damn it.
You're looking for rumors about the area, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I'm sorry, brain is still starting up.
This is understandable. Okay, and Doc, where are you directing yourself?
Laura is going to survey the area around the entrance. Just take a look around, see if there's any unusual features, see if the structure itself is doing anything unusual, like venting gas or anything into the actual surroundings. Just taking a look around, really.
While you're taking a look around, you notice that there are a lot of small vents in the side of the structure. Something that's inches to maybe at most a foot in length, but there is one sizable entrance that could be large enough to fit through. You might need to widen it a little bit, and this might be the entrance that the mayor was talking about. And it also does look like someone or something else has already attempted to widen the hole and possibly succeeded before returning the material to its original position. You do notice in several places there's a odd orange liquid that's kind of... It comes out in some places, but it's been mostly seeping down into the sand. It's not a constant flow. It's just every once in a while you notice that there's traces of it. And there's some particularly wet parts of sand where it's touched. While you're looking around, you do notice a man sort of pacing at a distance some ways away. You don't think he's particularly noticed you so much. Maybe he just barely got there and you were around a corner when he arrived. He seems to be glancing off towards the entrance, thinking about it, and then hesitating, and looks very fidgety about heading in.
Laura will approach him cautiously and say, "Greetings."
Hello. Sorry, I didn't see you there. What might you be doing around here?
Oh, actually, I was just taking a walk. Looking at the ruins, things like that. I'm a bit of a tourist.
He does kind of arc an eyebrow at your commentary. It's like a tourist, and you think this structure is something that you would like to tour? He's asking questionably.
No, I'm not planning to go inside. I'm just circumnavigating the outside. Going inside seems a bit hasty.
Yes, he's saying that's entirely my problem as well. Unfortunately, I might not have all that much time.
How do you mean?
Well, I would like to recover samples of materials and creatures from within for my own studies, but I'm afraid that individuals that I might be working with might get to them before I do. I know they're already planning to make a foray into it, and I'd really rather have my own supplies of materials to work with rather than depend upon them.
I see. Do you think there's anything in there?
He kind of looks kind of shifty a little bit. It's like, I think there's probably a great deal in there.
What makes you say that?
It's something from one of the previous 8 worlds. It's, and he kind of gestures broadly, saying it's a Numenera of vast size and potential. There is no telling what's within it, but just the construction of it, just how it was put together, has so many secrets. Just, everything you can think of. There's just got to be something in there that's of use.
Well, you make a good point. Do you have any expertise in Numenera?
I have some, yes, and
I heard there was some sort of crazy cult around.
oh yes, the Doomsayers, and give me a 1d20, and it's going to be against a difficulty of 4, which is you need to roll 12 or higher. It's an intellect thing.
Nope.
So yes, they're a problem as well. You don't notice anything any particular about it, but and I'd rather before there's a furor that's raised up, I'd rather get what materials I can, and perhaps with some of it I can even produce something useful to you. Just bring back what you can to Thebes, and I'll work up a bit of a useful bit of device for you, and you can go on with that, and I can continue working with whatever else you provide. Do we have a deal then?
Laura considers him a bit and says, maybe I'll think about it if I wind up inside the ruins.
Good to hear. I'll be waiting to hear for your call back. And he starts rather quickly beating feet away from the area. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to Anne, Tiny Touka. You make double back towards the mayor. He's still in his offices where you left him. How are you going to be entering the mayor's office? Are you going to sneak in, or are you going to just walk in?
Oh, I'm definitely going to just wander in. He didn't have his secretary had an outer office when we were last there, right?
Right.
Glorious, I'm going to just walk in then. He didn't have anyone else in his office that I'm expecting?
Nope. It seems to be rather small, city hall. I mean, there's room for other people to be working there at any given time, but this is just, there's no major function going on, so it's pretty much him and his immediate staff, or his assistants right now. I guess the term would be scribe.
Hello. I just thought I'd pop back and ask you some small questions about the thing you were suggesting before my associate so rudely decided that your offer was completely unacceptable.
And I thought you accepted the offer I had. You are going into the structure, aren't you?
I was referring to your request to make sure a certain rabble-rouser was rousing no additional rabble, as the case may be.
He stands up and goes to the door, cracks it open to see if there's anybody nearby, closes it again, looks back at you. You'd be willing to take this up?
For a certain price, you see. Due to certain of my companions, it's not as though completing your request this way will stop us from needing to go in and clear out the ruins. On the other hand, I rather think that your gratuity for this task could be more than beneficial for just such a follow-up task, if you take my meaning.
I do. And I am prepared to give you an extra reward for the extra trouble.
I smile widely, and Say, wonderful, wonderful. Well, do be certain it is fitting. I'm afraid I must be seen about the town in order to establish an alibi for the afternoon.
Understood. And I would appreciate it if you kept this to yourself as well. Be discreet.
Of course. None need ever know.
Indeed. And on to Iban. Iban, it's pretty easy to find a tavern in the area, especially one that's frequented by mercenaries. What do you do when you go in?
I order a drink and I sit down and I start listening, see what the mood is like, what people are talking about, engage in some friendly, I don't know, betting, maybe.
Right. You engage in betting in darts or cards or something of the matter?
Yeah, throwing knives. Why not?
Throwing knives, yes. Okay. Go ahead and give me a speed check. And I know you already have an edge of 1 on that. Give me a speed check against a difficulty 12.
Okay, let me check my character sheet. That's...
You're rolling 1d20, you try to get more than 12. Excuse me. So it's a difficulty 4, actually. You have an edge of 1, which means if you want to, you can spend 2 speed points to reduce the difficulty to 3, but then you would be down some effort.
Did we say that we can use effort after the roll?
No, we decided we were going to use it flat raw first.
Okay, good. I'm gonna use the effort then.
Okay, so that is 2 speed off your character. So you're at 9 right now, yes?
Awesome. I roll a 1.
Oh, gads, yes, that is indeed awesome. Oh.
Wait, that's good?
No, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's good.
No, wait, you're trying to go over. You're trying to go over.
Oh, yeah. My sarcasm stands then.
Yeah, your sarcasm stands. You managed to lose all 5 of your shins in betting. There is a knife-throwing shark in that tavern.
Well, I guess I'll try to make something good out of it. So I'll put a sad face, which is not going to take me much. I'm going to ask people if there is any work going around. I was planning on staying in town for some time, but I'm going to need to find something to fight or kill or deal with. What are the news? What's going on? What does a very poor mercenary do here?
Yeah, a lot of the locals in the area get really quiet, and the mercenaries kind of shrug. It's like, well, the standard, there's always a caravan coming through here. They've been having some problems since the earthquake with hot flashes and toxic sludge and such. But unless you've got a Nano with you, I don't think there's much, or you've got a knack for fixing machines or something, there's not much you can do about that. And as you're listening to this standard mercenary rumors, you do hear a kind of semi-drunken man kind of call out. It's like, you want a job? You can go into those ruins and find what took my wife.
What ruins?
Which ruins? The ruins this is all built on. Of course, what do you mean, which ruin?
Why did your wife go into them?
Who said she went into them? Did I say she went into them? No, something took her into those ruins. Go ahead and roll me difficulty, try to roll 9 or higher.
This is intellect, I guess?
This is intellect.
I'm gonna use effort again.
So you're going to try to roll higher than 6, and you're going to reduce your intellect by 3. Okay. So you succeeded. Just barely, but you succeeded. Yeah, you're pretty sure that he thinks it's possible that she went in on her own power. But he's adamant in claiming that she was taken.
What's in there that would take her in?
Who knows? People have been going missing all over the place. They're just not talking about it. And a lot of the other locals are giving them really nasty looks about it. And some of the mercenaries saying, this is the first I've heard of this.
Has no one tried to get in and clean the area? Or at least find out what's going on?
And again, he kind of shuts up on that again. You're based off your previous role, you think that's maybe what his wife was trying to do. All I know, everything was fine before that earthquake, and now people go missing. My wife is one of them, and the entire structure is going crazy. It's burning us one moment, freezing us the next.
Wait, is this what those crazy people out of town were talking about?
Oh, the cult? The cult? They might be onto something. There is something down there. I mean, ever since that earthquake, things have been going wrong. there's something down there.
Did they just show up after the earthquake?
I think they were around. They were around a little bit before. They didn't start making ruckus until after the earthquake. And out of the corner of your eye, Iban, you're starting to notice some of the other mercenaries say, "Hey, I heard there was a kind of a rumor about a job in town." And you're kind of getting the feeling that you might not want to be spreading more information about this job in public.
Okay, I'll finish my drink, and I won't have any money to buy anymore, so I'll just turn the cup upside down and shrug and leave the bar.
Thank you for listening to this session of Thrythlin's One-Shot Adventures. I hope you enjoyed listening to us play this game, and that it has encouraged you to try to give some of the more obscure and independent games that are on the market a little bit of a try. Following this message, there will be credits related to the specific company or game that was featured in today's session, as well as any visual media that were used to give a little bit more atmosphere to the published session. He stands up and goes back towards the open door and the door that you came in, and make sure peeks out of it.
I did not leave the door open.
Yeah, I'm not going to say. I've decided you wouldn't have.
No, I'm not used to this editing magic. I used to do some radio when I was younger, so all this dead air is making me very nervous. It's like, we must say something.
I am also nervous about the dead air, but it does kind of, when I start doing the editing, it makes things speed up at least a little bit.
You eliminate a lot of the dead air, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Knights of the Night actually they talk about that quite a bit.